What's going on, guys? So welcome back to the channel, and today I want to talk about my 4 go-to setups that I take with me every time I'm on the water. Alright, so today we're going to talk about my 4 rods that I take with me when I go out on the water. 4 setups. You know, I've been seeing some videos out about this. You know, what's your 3 rods? What's your 4 rods? What's the 5 rods you take with you? Me, I keep it down to 4. 4 is a good number to me. If you can't do 4, then I'll show you 3 options. Okay, now this is equipment that I use. You don't have to go out and spend a ton of money on the equipment. Okay, I'll link down in the description below some other options that are more budget friendly. Alright, so starting off is going to be a spinning rod setup. Okay, this is my go-to spinning rod setup. The spinning setup has been very good to me this year. I've won a couple tournaments with this rod, with this setup right here, this year alone. And I've got to think the Wacky Rig Senko, that has just been my go-to this year. I was able to place very high in a lot of tournaments, win a couple tournaments with just that little Wacky Rig Senko. So this is a 7-foot medium G-Rod International Game Changer, and this is this is just an awesome rod. It's crazy sensitive. It's strong. It's got a great backbone to it. You know, it's got a great tip to it, and I've got it paired up with a 13 fishing Source X reel, and I've got 10-pound braid with the lime green and a 8-pound fluorocarbon leader. And you know, that's pretty much what I use 90% of the time when I go on the water. This is the number 1 rod I'll take with me, basically. So that is setup number 1. So the next setup is a 7-foot medium G-Rod International Game Changer. It's a crankbait rod. It's designed to use with crankbaits. As you can see, I've got a square bill tied onto it right now. I also use this as my topwater rod as well. It's got a great tip to it. It loads up really good. It's a glass with graphene blend material. Crazy sensitive, especially when you're using braid. This is a 20-pound braid that I'm using on Power Pro braid that I'm using on my reel. It's a Shimano DC 151, which means it's left-handed. 6-to-1 or 6-2. Let me look. Yeah, 6-2 gear ratio. I knew it was a 6-speed. I just couldn't remember if it was a 6-2 or 6-3 or 6-5. Anyway, 6-2-to-1 gear ratio. Love that reel. The DC reel. Hardly ever backlash it. It's just one of my favorite setups right here. And the reason why I'm using braid, okay, a lot of you are probably going, well, wait a minute, why are you using braid on a cranking rod? That's like I said a minute ago. I use this as my topwater rod as well. It's a great topwater rod. And so you don't want to use fluorocarbon when you're using topwater. So I elected to use braid. Plus, a lot of pros are starting to go to braid on their cranking rods, especially their shallow cranking rods. Something that you're going to use a square bill or, you know, mid to shallow range depth of crankbaits. And you know, David Fritz, you can look at a lot of videos with David Fritz. He has gone strictly braid on all of his cranking setups, and you know, the hookup ratio is so much better. The sensitivity is so much better. I can feel every time I hit a limb. I can feel if I'm in rock. I can feel if I'm in mud. I can feel if I'm in clay bottom. Just by using this braid, I mean, it's been a great choice for me this year. But that's setup number 2. Now, setup number 3 is my go-to rod. This is a rod that I have in my boat at all times. My kayak, I take to the bank, take on a buddy's boat, what have you. This rod is crazy light, crazy sensitive, and it's just, I mean, it's a very versatile rod. And it is a 7.6 medium heavy G-Rod International Bass Pro Bass Series. And this rod is just crazy. Like, I mean, right now I've got a spoon tied on there. And, you know, I was stroking a spoon up on Chickamauga the other day, and I ended up missing a couple fish, so I ended up putting a stinger hook on there. I didn't have that stinger hook on there when I was using it Sunday, and I ended up catching a big old catfish. But this rod, I've got it with 17-pound fluorocarbon line, and I use 17-pound because it's a happy medium between 15 and 20 pound. I can use this rod to flip. I can use this rod for a Carolina rig, a Texas rig. I throw a chatterbait with this rod. I throw a spinnerbait on this rod. It's just a very versatile rod. It's got a great action to it, great tip, awesome backbone to it, and it is just been my favorite rod. Like this, I love this rod so much that I went ahead and bought another one. So I have 2 of these rods, and one of them is rigged with a Texas rig worm. The other one is this one that I rig with a Carolina rig. Jig. I throw a jig with it. You know, I flip with it. It's just an all-around great rod. I've got it paired up with a Lew's Pro TI 7.5 to 1 gear ratio. Again, 17-pound K9 fluorocarbon line. It's just, I've had 0 issues out of this, and like I said, this is just my go-to. This is my go-to rod. So, rod number 4. Now, that would be my 3 main rods that I would take with me. But if I could take a 4th rod, this is going to be my 4th rod. This is a G-Rod Game Changer 7.6 heavy. This is a broomstick. I mean, this is my heavy flipping rod. This rod is just great. I've got it set up with a punch setup, where I was on Chickamauga the other day, where I was just punching around those grass mats and trying to find those big bites down in the grass. And this thing is stout. It's a broomstick. What it is, it's a flipping stick. And you know, 65-pound braid on it. I use it for frogging. I use it for flipping. I use it for punching. Everything in between. So yeah, this is. I'll even throw a buzz bait on this rod. But yeah, it's a pretty superb rod. It's light, but it's a heavy action rod. So I got it paired up with a Lew's Super Duty LFS 8 to 1 gear ratio. I believe it's 8 to 1. No, 3 to 1. It's an 3 to 1 gear ratio, so it's got that super high speed where I can, whenever I'm flipping or I'm punching, I can get that bait back to me and pitch back in there. It's also got a flip where you just push the button down, switch on it. Love this reel. It's been a great reel for me this year. It's been a great rod. Another great setup for me. But anyway, that's the 4 setups that I have, that I keep with me in my kayak at all times. You know, plus I have another top water rod that I carry with me, and then I have another 7.6 medium heavy Game Changer that I bring with me as well. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you next time.